Good morning, everyone, and especially excited to have our guest, Laura Morris. And just a little bit about Laura. She's the daughter of the famous Deirdre Thornton, and she's you and her are starting to kind of get word around, and especially after this recording and everybody's watching, we've got quite a few people already on the line. And just a little thing to kind of kick it off a little bit. I love massage therapy. I tore the pec major off my arm being stupid 23 years ago or something like that. And part of the healing process, oh man, it hurts a lot more putting it back on than taking it off. Especially it was over a year in between. And at the same time, there was a lady at church that was just finishing up her massage and she needed a bunch of people. And so we gave each other just a really good deal. And she was gifted. And so I was having several of those a week, and it was just blessed relief because the pain would cause tension, which would just build up, especially up in here. And well, for 22 years now, I've had a massage at least every week, and grateful. And we'll have to get together because you've been doing that for about 20 years. And you were telling me quite a few things that I didn't even know about. And maybe kick it off a little bit. I imagine you were inspired because of your mom's interest in healing. And how long have you guys been doing all of this? And how did you move into all of these other technologies that are available now? And I'm certain there's a synergy in using everything together too. So Laura Morris, tell us about yourself.
I have been doing massage therapy for over 20 years now. And yes, I was inspired by Deirdre, who has been doing colon hydrotherapy for a lot longer. I specialize in neuromuscular therapy and myofascial release. So I have a good understanding of how the muscle works. Trigger points. Trigger points aren't just a spot on your foot. It's a part of the muscle that's still contracted. That's a knot in your muscle. And to release that knot, you have to bring blood flow, take the inflammation away. And that's neuromuscular therapy. That's massage therapy. Heat can do it. I've never seen products that could ever do it before. And I've been through a lot of products, a lot of cooling products. A hot and cold therapy can do it. And then about 7 months ago, I got thoracic outlet syndrome. And that is an inflammation and nerve pinching because the muscles are contracted. Remember that part of the muscle that's still contracted around the nerves in the shoulder. And I very much had to stop massage therapy, which is sad because it is one of my passions. Well, a couple of months ago, I started on the pain product from Avini, and I started to realize that it was taking the trigger points away, literally taking the trigger points away. So every trigger point has a referred pain pattern. And so you feel the pain a lot of times in a different spot of your body, hence tension, headache, the trigger point in the neck and shoulders, you can feel it in a completely different spot. To do this, to release a trigger point, blood flow needs to go to the sarcomere of the muscle and release the sarcoplasmic reticulum calcium pump on the outside of it. And I was amazed that my trigger points in my shoulder started to disappear. And when you don't have a trigger point anymore, you do not have a referred pain pattern. And my shoulder is completely healed now. And it was 90% healed within a week. And that opened my eyes. That got my attention because I have never seen a product release trigger points to the point that they don't exist ever, besides the pain.
Wow.
So another thing that I do here is the Hocket, the hyperthermic ozone carbonic acid transdermal therapy. And that has to do with CO2 bringing the Bohr effect to the body. The same thing as a paper bag, breathing through a paper bag, but heightened. And that sucks out old oxygen and debris from cells. the ozone goes in there and helps kill viruses, parasites, bacteria. There's a Rife component to it, the Hugo, that recharges the electrons that I was speaking about before, goes in and sweeps out inflammation. There's infrared in there as well. So people sweat it's a steam.
A lot.
It's a steam. So I have to clean that up every single time someone takes a Hocket. And usually there is off-colored sweat that comes out of people. And because toxins are being sweated out from all of this sucking out toxins of tissue and cells and so forth. Well, people started to get on the cell defender and continue to do their Hockets as well. And I started to find black flecks in every single person that is on the cell defender. What those black flecks are, I can only imagine. In my personal opinion, it's the heavy metals of the body, but no one else. And I do probably 7 Hockets a day, every single day. And no one else has black flecks come out of their sweat that I have to clean up in that Hocket. And it's amazing. I find it very interesting. And so that is my experience with the cell defender. I feel good on the cell defender personally, but I don't have these health problems that a lot of people that come into Spruce Haven Wellness Center have. So I do feel good. My bowels are better. I have more energy. But what I have seen in the cell defender is literal black flecks coming out of the pores of people's body, which is insanely amazing. I'm so very impressed.
Good thing. Hey, tell us about the birth of Hocket. How did that come about? Who figured that out, putting all that stuff?
It was a prince of Dubai that wanted his horses to race faster and be better athletes because he wanted to win. The first Hocket was a horse Hocket. This man, he hired all of these top scientists of the world, and he said, I want my horses to run faster. And so all these components of the Hocket are fairly old in their own right and are huge in helping toxins release from the body. But they put it together as a Hocket in about 2003 sometime. And then he saw what was occurring with his horses, and he wanted one for himself. And then the word started spreading quickly. There aren't that many in the United States. I would say a handful, 20 or 30 that I found on the internet. So it's just coming here from Europe. But it's an amazing detox process, and it's heightened 100-fold with the cell defender and all of the Avini products. The pain as well sweeps out inflammation. So it goes hand in hand with the Hugo technology.
Tell us about Hugo.
Hugo it recharges your electrons, okay? It's the same technology that they put the astronauts on when they come back from space. When astronauts leave the atmosphere and the Earth, the magnetic field of the Earth isn't recharging every single electron. So inflammation builds up in their bodies and they come back very sick. So they had to figure out, how can we help these people? Well, one of the reasons why me and you may not have electrons that are fully recharged, even though that we're on Earth, we're in these houses above the ground, the EMF waves of the lights and the plugs and everything this is why you feel so good when you're out in nature or camping. You're literally away from the EMF waves, you're close to the ground. And so you're literally recharging each electron, which in turn turns your metabolic enzymatic activity on. Enzymes are life. The reason why the trees outside go dormant in the wintertime is because those enzymes go dormant. Every chemical reaction in the world is an enzymatic activity. Okay, so then those enzymes become more active and start sweeping out inflammation from the body, which is huge because that gives more space for the ozone to get more places. Okay. You can put the coils around an injury and sweep out inflammation. And that's why I say it goes hand in hand with the pain. The pain product from Avini takes out inflammation as well. I know that it does. But to help bring it deeper into the body and sweep out more inflammation, just protects an area. That's why it occurs. Something is going wrong in this area and the body's like, okay, I'm going to protect it. But then you need to be able to get the toxins out, nutrients in. So taking that inflammation away is huge.
Interesting. When you do massages, do you use that in conjunction with all the stuff you're doing? Like you have a client come in and you're working on them. They say, "Oh, this is killing me." Did you maybe mention, "Hey, I got something. Let me add a little extra to my touch here"? Or have you had experience with that? Or
I do. So I kicked myself in the foot a long time ago with my massage practice. People wanted a nice light massage, and I said, well, let me tell you about neuromuscular therapy and myofascial release, which is hard on the therapist, usually deep stuff. And so all of my clients now still want the deep tissue or the releasing of the trigger point. And yes, every single time now in every massage, I put the Avini pain product on them because it just helps me work smarter, not harder.
yeah, I've always thought that any massage therapist probably needs a massage, and I know a lot of people that they partner with another massage therapist and kind of do a trade-off. Now, if I came to you and I was hurting, would you do that before you started the massage? I guess put some of that on topically and then do the massage, or after, or both? Or
I do, because I don't want that pore to be clogged of the oil that I use in the massage. So I do it first and foremost, so it has a chance to soak in as quickly as possible. And it's releasing the trigger point before I even have to start massaging it.
Okay. And then you probably just got a lot of intuition, like a lot of people do, where if it's a referred pain, like I've heard, if you go like this and squeeze, you can help a headache or different things. And so you probably got all that figured out. So you know where to do your work as well as apply the stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And this point is not a trigger point. It's an acupressure point. They are different. Okay. This deals with meridians of the body, which is an energetic field of the body. I'm specifically talking about a trigger point in a muscle of the sarcomere of the muscle that causes a physical referred pain elsewhere. So yes, you can put it on acupressure points and release meridians as well.
Wow.
But what helped my shoulder was the physical releasing of the trigger points, which is huge. You can't do that without neuromuscular therapy. You can't do that without myofascial release. And this is going in there and turning on the calcium pump to pump the calcium back out to release that trigger point, which I've never seen happen in my 20 years with a product.
Wow, that's interesting. And you mentioned the foo-foo massages. If you've only had those, I've always thought my best massages, I've always had tears in my eyes after. but boy, it feels really good, and you build up to it where your body craves it. It's really
absolutely useful. And there is something to be said about nice relaxing massages to put you down into the parasympathetic nervous system. Absolutely. There are just different types of massages, and that one, putting you into parasympathetic nervous system, is the only place that the body can heal. That is another thing the Hocket can do as well. But then the other type of massage is this moving blood to the muscle tissue to release the trigger points and fascia and so forth.
All right, sounds good. So if you say didn't live in Montana, is there people that are out of state that come here as a kind of a retreat and spend a few days?
Absolutely.
because I would imagine word gets out, and you guys are really, really good.
Yeah, Deirdre does have packages where she gives people a certain amount of colonics and Hockets and helps them cleanse their body. And we've been doing that for 20 years as well, if they would like to come. And Deirdre is a gold mine of information. I have a lot of information that I've learned throughout the years through blood microscopy. I have done that for years as well. But Deirdre is this, like I said, a gold mine to help people cleanse their bodies, get the parasites out, the viruses, parasites, bacteria. I mean, she just has a plethora of knowledge, and just to speak with her on the phone is enlightening to a lot of people and puts them on a path of health.
Sounds good. I just recently connected with you on Facebook, and your Facebook, I got to compliment you. I think you're the creator of all the funny cartoons, or whatever we call them, and about colonics.
Well, my sister Carmen, who has been the office manager here and there, has created most of those. And
All
yes,
right.
I have helped her, but she is the funny one of the family. And yes, they're hilarious and catching, and it catches people's attention for sure.
So what's your Facebook page?
It's Spruce Haven Wellness Center.
So just Spruce Haven Wellness Center, and I guess you could add Bozeman on that if you wanted to, if you want to look it up. But
Yes.
the Facebook page is really good. Lots of pictures. One of the pictures that is just horrible, because Deirdre was sharing with me that she's been doing colonics a long time, and then all of a sudden she's seeing stuff that she hasn't seen before, that when people go on what's referred to as the Marcy dose of the cellular defender, it stirs up stuff. Could you talk a little bit about that? And
Yes.
I guess you could look up the picture of the bottles if you wanted to on the Facebook page.
Yes. So Deirdre's been helping people cleanse for 20 plus years, and it takes a lot for parasites to come out of the body, or it has in the past. And even without colonics now, people are calling left and right and sending us pictures of parasites that are coming out of their body. And getting a colonic, being on the cell defender, and a Hocket all in one felt swoop, Deirdre comes out with wide eyes these days, because there is a viewing tube before it goes down into the sewer, so she can see every single thing that comes out of the colonics. And she is seeing more parasites now since Avini came into our lives than she ever has in her past 20 plus years. And people, even without a colonic these days, are getting them out in the toilet and sending us picture after picture, which is very interesting for us. And what I would say about that is, do not be afraid of it. Thank goodness that it's out, and these parasites can lay thousands of eggs a day. And so getting ahead of that is something that everyone has to do, and being courageous enough to look at it and look at the truth and say, I need this stuff out of me so I don't end up like a lot of people in America. And the larva is on food. It's everywhere now. So, and that cell defender is, I can't say it's killing them left and right, but I just know that everyone that is on that cell defender and the fiber as well are seeing a lot of things that are not poop coming out of them. Thank goodness.
Oh goodness, I've read before that that's very likely people have it just like every other animal does, but especially if you have a pet, it's probably 100% likely that you have parasites. And you look at the behavior of dogs, eating poo as an example. That's why I'll never let a dog lick my face. I'm just not into that. I just always think where that tongue's been before. Oh golly.
There are parasites that can crawl out of your pet, lay eggs in your bed, and crawl into you. I will never let pets, dogs, cats sleep in my bed. They're always on the floor. They're not even on my couches. I love my pets very much, but I need to stop the cycle of parasites coming into me somehow. And that's part of what I do is pets have them. If you don't deworm your pets every couple months, and vets say 6 months, a year, which in my personal opinion isn't enough. I deworm my pets every couple months because they are carriers. We are carriers though as well. Our immune systems aren't what they used to be 100 years ago. So that's where they can thrive, is an immune system that is compromised in some way. And the immune product from Avini, I don't do blood microscopy anymore. I just do it for my family, but I can clock and see how the white cells are reacting. And I have been clocking myself since I've been on the immune product from Avini, and my white cells look stronger than they ever have. Now, sterols are a great product as well, and that's what I've been telling people to be on for years through my blood microscopy practice. And it's double and triple the activity. I'm not saying the size of the cell, because you sometimes don't want immune cells that are too active. But the activity inside of the cells is what I can see. And the immune product from Avini has made them more active, and these white cells are a good size with them, but the activity inside I've never seen before. So that means the immune system is going straight to where it should be with this product. And we need immune systems that can hack what's going on in the world now. Chemicals everywhere.
Oh, that's amazing. That's really exciting. I love Rick talking about the Z immunity, which I guess the zeolite potentiates just about everything, whether it's animal feed or the mushroom formula, makes things work better. And and those type of mushrooms, just I love that idea of what he talks about, improving the communication, giving all of your immune cells walkie-talkies, so it just improves. It doesn't get them overreactive or hysterical, which can be a bad thing too. As an example, a lot of folks that have allergies comment how they feel better using the Z-immunity now, which is makes a lot of sense.
Yes. So when your body is overloaded with undigested proteins from a bad diet or from a digestive system that's sluggish, those undigested proteins go into the blood. And so the immune system cells try to digest them out. And digestion is first and foremost in the body. So the immune system cells have no other time to deal with the bacteria and the viruses and the parasites that are in there. They're trying to digest 24/7 from these undigested proteins. So when you take the fiber and your digestion is correct, then these undigested proteins don't hop into your interstitial fluid. And so the immune system can start taking on what it was meant to do, which is taking out the bacteria and so forth from the body. So that's why the fiber is so very important as well. And colon hydrotherapy is very important, or more so getting the river of sludge out. You can kill things, but you need to get it out then. So if you're on these products and you are not pooping, do something about it. Find a colon hydrotherapist, take the fiber product, because that very much helps. And if the fiber product is stopping you up, take a little bit less for now, because that will keep the river of sludge moving constantly.
Wow. Yeah, to date me a little bit, it's about 40 years ago, I was with a nutritional product company on a number one moving product. And I say that in more ways than one. Sales wise, it was the best, but also it was a fiber product, and it was super popular. And how we would sell it is we'd take around the Dr. Bernard Jensen's Gross Out book. The title actually was let's see, bowel health and intestinal cleanliness. And I noticed on the wall of where you do your colonics, I had this same thing of the X-ray silhouette of different people's colons, and instead just this real nice thing. It'd be just all just real just creepy. People really have messed up colons, and you think, is that really true? And you could probably got a lot of stories on that too, but oh my goodness. He basically said death begins in the colon. A more positive way is health begins in the gut. As one doctor talked about, that it stuck in my mind, that digestion is the Achilles heel of human metabolism, that if that's not working, it can't nourish the rest of the body. Or also, if your bowels are inflamed, then what happens, excuse me, is incompletely digested food or whatever, becomes hyperpermeable or leaky gut, and things get into that bloodstream that shouldn't be there, which, as you mentioned, can mess up the immune system because it knows that's wrong. Like, gets it tired, confused, attacking the wrong stuff, sensitized to things that should have been digested. Essentially, toxins getting in and causing inflammation, and all of a sudden your bloodstream turns into just a river of inflammation. And I just kind of think, if you look at just upstream digestion, fix that, everything else downstream can have a chance to fix itself. And I think inflammation beginning in the gut, inflammation everywhere. Just think of anything bad, especially the chronic or degenerative diseases. There's an inflammatory component of that. And so, thank you, Valerie.
It is, yes. So you soak in nutrients from the colon. So those colon walls have to be clean. And every colon is shaped very much like a wave. And old bowel can be stuck in those pockets. And that's where you get inflammation from. And so to keep the colon clean is very much the first step to bringing nutrients in and toxins out. And that's what we're trying to do with colonics, the Hocket, the Avini products, everything. So the fiber is a humongous product that people need to try if they haven't, and go lightly if it stops them up at all, because you will be able to take more once those pockets of bowel have gone out of your colon. Will have more peristalsis. So that's where you go light if it stops you up at all. If you don't have access to colon hydrotherapy, if you do, just go get a colonic, and you can take more of the products because you have more. Your pipes are empty then, so to speak.
Well, the book I referred to, it talks about that some people actually literally have pounds of decayed, impacted fecal matter that's just stuck in there. And it's just, it's just creepy thinking about it. Betty Kamen, a lovely lady that was, an expert in all this kind of stuff, got to have dinner with her and her husband years ago. And here we are having dinner and talking about her favorite subject, fiber and bowel health. And she said this couplet that I'll always remember, that throughout the world, wherever there's small stools, there's big hospitals, and where there's big stools, there's small hospitals. but there is a correlation. And as an American, we're nationally, that's just our characteristic, is we're constipated. None of us get enough fiber in our diet, and it's not just roughage. It does so many other things. I always think about, years ago when I first heard about this, we'd talk about making B vitamins and helping us digest your food. And later, that became an integral part of our immune system, those things there. And then more and more, the brain-gut connection, where a lot of the brain neurotransmitters are actually manufactured, more of them in the gut by bacteria than in the brain itself. And then one of the most important things is the short chain fatty acids like butyric acid, learning about that, where about 90% of the energy derived in the gut lining is butyric acid. And in fact, it's not just the lining, that your blood-brain barrier loves that. And brains love all of those short chain fatty acids too. But But where do you get them? In an ideal diet, which includes the diet that feeds the right kind of bacteria. And we just don't have the strong, diverse biome that we used to have. And if you're eating a narrowed, restricted diet more and more, all of those good bugs, they can't support that, because what you feed, what you eat, you feed those things. And if you're not feeding them, they're going to go away and they might not come back. So this plus fiber is not just fiber, but it's ideal food for the diet of the kind of bugs that you want to raise in there that can make things like butyric acid and whatnot. So it really is a game changer.
It is. And one other thing I'd like to bring up is wet fiber. Wet fiber is something that Americans lack as well, because our water intake is not there. Deirdre, for years and years before the Avini products came around, she just kept telling people to eat oranges and all this wet fiber, right? Because that is fiber that is so moisturized with the juices of the fruit. So if there is a problem taking the fiber, if it stops people up even a bit, it's that you're not drinking enough water. And it works so very much better with water. The cell defender as well. Cell defender is very much like bentonite clay. Bentonite clay takes toxins out of the colon. Cell defender does the whole body. But if you don't have enough fluid in there to keep the river of sludge moving, then you're setting yourself up for failure. So I think more than a gallon a day is probably unproductive. But if you can drink a gallon of water, these people that have these health issues, a gallon of water a day with these products will make them so very much more effective and won't put you in a situation where you haven't pooped for a couple of days, because that is the key. We're trying to get you to poop. We're trying to get the parasites out, and don't be afraid of pooping too much and too many weird things coming out of your body. Take the fear away and tackle it, and know that those things are gone out of your body now once you see them go.
Well, Chip Littlejohn, he has a really good statement, whether it's a little black dots on you after going through the Hocket or whatever it is. He just says, wow. And I think it's really kind of a creepy thing, something coming out of you. And you think, oh my goodness, I better stop taking that. But then you think what Chip says, well, is there anything you see that you would like back in you? And right. So that's just a good perspective. Let's get rid of that stuff, and you're bound to feel better. What's the comments on people like Deirdre's actually seen some stuff that's a couple of feet long come out, and that means it must have been there a long time. And yes. We call it a parasite because it takes stuff and it's not a symbiotic organism. It doesn't give you anything other than just eat your food and kind of poop inside you and add toxins. And so what do people feel after they get rid of that stuff? Do they notice anything?
It's pounds lost, or vision better, hearing better, skin looking amazing. When toxins are out of your body, you start looking like you did when you were a kid. Colors can be brighter because the liver is cleaner. The liver is the filter of the body. And when that filter becomes clear, then the world starts looking like you did when you were a kid. It's not just that you had such a good imagination. It's that your children's livers are clean, so colors are brighter. Hormone balances. Hormones can work correctly in the body when toxins are out of the way. Every single organ in the body, the circulatory system, the lymph system, all of it works like it did when you were a kid when toxins are taken out of the equation.
My goodness. Well, everybody needs this stuff and hardly anyone has it, and they might not hear about it unless we reach out to them. So
that's right.
I think we have a real moral obligation. And I was helped a few years ago so dramatically. I just felt this calling, and I just thought, wow, what they wanted to do to me that I was able to avoid, just staying home and taking drops and improving my lifestyle. wow. I just think, well, if it worked for me, I'll bet it'll work for some other people. And over the last few years it has. And it's been a lot of fun. You know, why have a job when you can be on a mission, really make a difference?
Absolutely. The Hocket is something that they use over in Europe for helping the body detox all the chemicals that they use from cancer treatments. And so there are a lot of people that have cancer and going through treatments at the hospital that come and do Hockets. And after everything is said and done, these products have helped give lives back to amazing people. And I've seen it over and over and over again. Specifically, one man who he and his children and his wife would come in and speak with Deirdre in the beginning before he did Hockets, before he did everything. And his little 11-year-old daughter would sit and take notes the whole time and look things up on her phone the whole time. And I thought, that how can we help these people? They're a beautiful family, and this 11-year-old was determined to help her father in any way. And he got a series of Hockets. He's been on the Cell Defender, the 10 drops an hour, and he looks like a different person now. And he's clear at the moment of anything. He just got some tests back. So I've been seeing those sorts of stories around Spruce Haven as well. And it just makes me the happiest person to know that that little girl has her father back, because that's a beautiful family that the Avini products and everything else has helped.
Hope. I love that word. Yeah. Any final thoughts or anything that you'd like to share, Laura?
I just thank you. I appreciate being on. This is my first time ever doing anything like this, so please forgive my nervousness.
Oh, I didn't know.
But yeah, just keep the river of sludge moving out any way you can. And if you would like to call Spruce Haven Wellness Center in Bozeman, Montana, and speak with Deirdre about any of the products or anything that you might need to talk to her about, call her, because she's an amazing resource for helping the toxins come out while they are dying off.
And you told me in Coeur d'Alene, where we live, that there's a Hocket. So
I know, yeah, I know that there's a Hocket there. I know they're spread around the United States. I would just Google it. And I know there's one in Coeur d'Alene because one of my clients summers there and she gets Hockets there. So I do know for a fact there's one there, and in California, down in Arizona, some on the East Coast. So Google it and see, and go get a Hocket, because that will help the toxins come out along with the Avini products too. So keep them coming out. Don't keep them in.
They must be kind of expensive, because you said a lot of movie stars have them in their homes. And how much is one of those? Just curious.
With everything, it was around $100,000, but it's worth it to help people.
Oh, absolutely.
And not have to massage for the rest of my life as well, because I do love massaging, but it's, you know what I mean? It's a task.
Oh, absolutely. Here's a way that we're just a small front porch in Montana. You can touch people all over the world with this product. And that is very gratifying, helping many thousands more. So I know a lot
Very
more
much.
people are going to know your name and love you.
Thank you very much. It's an honor talking to you.
Hey, thanks for coming on, everybody.